This is Ben Davison. Subscribe to Stephen Icon.
November 2015, Tyson Fury travels to Germany to take on Wladimir Klitschko. Although Wladimir Klitschko is from Ukraine, that's where he grew up, that's his nationality, Germany is pretty much his home. So he was always going to be getting great decisions and he gets all his own way in Germany. We've known all that. Okay, now Tyson Fury, he goes there and he defeats the unified heavyweight champion. Now, when I say unified, there's a difference between unified and undisputed. To be undisputed, you need to hold 4 belts. Wladimir Klitschko held 3, in addition to the Ring magazine and the Phantom Lineal, right? So, Tyson Fury, he goes over there and puts on an absolute schooling for Wladimir Klitschko. Straight after then, what happens? Tyson Fury doesn't get the kind of credit that maybe he should have got, right? And to be fair, a lot of it is his own doing, his own fault because of the way that he was talking, the way that he was reading out the scripture and lambasting everybody, every man and his dog. So a lot of it, that turned off a lot of people. But ultimately, he should have got a lot more credit than what he did, okay? So fast forward a little bit. So he sets up a rematch with Wladimir Klitschko. Why there was a rematch, I have no idea, when he was the mandatory for the WBO. So therefore, if you're a mandatory, you don't have to have a rematch. But either way, he agreed to it. And subsequently, because of that, when the IBF called him to take on Glazkov, he said, no, I can't fight Glazkov next and defend my IBF title against him because I've agreed for a rematch. He then got stripped of the IBF world title. So either way, the rematch is going right way ahead. Tyson Fury pulls out. Mental health, all that kind of thing. So at that point, he then vacates his WBO and Super WBA World Heavyweight titles. He still has the Ring magazine and he still holds the crown of Lineal, okay? But he loses his other 2 official sanctioning body belts. And then he goes on a drinking binge, putting cocaine up his nose and all this kind of thing. And of course, it also comes out the fact that he had failed a previous PED test, which was around about the time when he fought Christian Hammer. Okay, so it wasn't the Wladimir Klitschko one, like a lot of people said. It was the Christian Hammer kind of time, him and his cousin Hughie Fury. So again, he's got all this hanging over him that people think he's a drug cheat, all this kind of thing. So again, popularity dips because these guys are not making any kind of official statements other than, well, this is not right, we didn't take anything, da-da-da. But nothing is being concluded because UKAD, who reported all this, and the British Boxing Board of Control are not sorting it out, okay? And it drags on, and it drags on, and it drags on for how long? Over 2 years it drags on. So Tyson Fury has no boxing license. He can't fight. And what makes it worse, as I said, he's doing copious amounts of drinking. He's visiting the kebab shop every single day, it seems, and he's putting gear up his nose, and he's falling into a spiral, into a very, very dark world. He has no interest in his family. He has no interest in his own health and well-being. He's suicidal. But obviously, with most people who are suicidal, they don't have the courage to actually go through it. They just want something to happen to them, so they just don't wake up. Okay? These are all the kind of things that Tyson Fury is going through, and of course, he's getting nowhere with the British Boxing Board of Control. So, after 2.5 years, he finally sorts it all out. He finally gets a conclusion with the British Boxing Board of Control, UKAD, where they say, okay, fine, you know what, we will just end all this right now. We'll do it guilty as if you did take something, whether you did or whether you didn't. We'll just say that you did and he agreed to this, but you can have your license back right now, providing you pass a medical. That's what happened. So he loses 135 pounds of weight just to get back in the ring with Safari. Not the greatest of opponents, but 135 pounds in addition to everything that he had to go through mentally because of his depression, anxiety, and all that kind of thing. But 135 pounds, that is the equivalent to Vasyl Lomachenko, Anthony Crolla, Mikey Garcia, these kind of fighters, okay? He loses that amount of weight, which shows you at the point that he was. He couldn't even walk properly. He had to go to specially made clothes shops to get clothes put on him, wearing virtually maternity gowns, right? Because he's that big. So anyway, he goes through all that, and a lot of you guys will remember way back then, I'm having a go at the British Boxing Board of Control for dragging this thing out, putting this man through all this after everything that he's gone through on top of, and for the fact that I also said that I think if he is going to come back, then I think he should leave Peter Fury. Not because of Peter Fury's no good for him, nothing like that. What I meant by that was because Billy Joe Saunders, he left his natural surroundings and he went to Adam Booth. That didn't last too long, but then he went to Dominic Ingle in Sheffield because he wanted to get away from everything, and that's what I felt that Tyson Fury needed to do. So he can keep family as family, business as business. Keep them separate. Don't take it to work with you as such. And that's what he done. And he hired Ben Davison. Most people hadn't heard of Ben Davison, but we knew that he had been in the corner for Billy Joe Saunders against Akavov, and he's been on the pads and helping train Billy Joe Saunders, and in part as well with Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury decides to take him on as a full-time coach. So he changes everything about him, and his whole attitude has changed as well. He still says controversial things, but a lot of that is aimed at other fighters rather than public, as in he's not having a go at gay people, he's not having a go at people who are not Christian or anything like that, okay? He's just keeping it boxing, but he's giving his opinion. Is it trolling at times with other fighters when he talks about Joshua? Of course it is. Every time Joshua fights, he's picking the other guy to win. That's just what he's doing. And after the Povetkin fight, he said some things that I didn't agree with Joshua. But again, this is all hype, okay? So anyway, he gets in the ring with Fury, not a great opponent. In fact, he's a part-time boxer and a full-time boxing promoter, okay? And half the size and a career cruiserweight, really, okay? And Tyson Fury goes in there and just has a complete joke of a fight with him. And when I call it a joke, Tyson Fury is doing it on purpose, okay? He's messing about. He's just glad to be back, and the reception that he got was excellent. Excellent comeback fight. So there he is in Manchester, getting the ovation after everything he's gone through. He's finally back. He's in the ring. You may not like the opponent, but he's back, okay? So he does that, and while he doesn't look in great condition, he looks in better condition than what we used to seeing him for like the last couple of years, right? So at that point, he then says, I need a stiffer opponent. I need somebody taller. For me, I'm thinking maybe a Ustinov or someone like that, okay? But he gets Francesco Pianetta, okay? So he gets Pianetta. Again, not a great opponent, but certainly a step up from Fury. So, of course, we're all expecting him 4 or 5 fights in of this kind of level, maybe move up a little bit, and then a world title contender, and then try and regain his belts against either Joshua or go for Wilder, okay? So anyway, Pianetta gets announced. A little while later, he's agreed to sign to fight Deontay Wilder. People are going, what the hell? It's too early. Everyone's saying it. His own daddy's saying it. His brother is saying it. His trainer, Ben Davison, is saying it. Everybody's saying it. But Tyson Fury's like, no, I want to take that fight. My first reaction, again, I'll openly admit it, was, well, is it a case of he just wants some money? Is it a case of he's overconfident? Is it a case of he would rather lose to Deontay Wilder, as in risk it against Deontay Wilder and lose, than Anthony Joshua, because he despises Joshua that much? Is he just selling his linealship? That was my initial reaction. A lot of you guys would have remembered me saying that. But anyway, he goes and fights Pianetta. He convincingly does him, and again, just based on that performance, he was getting tagged a little bit in that fight, and we're thinking, because he's on the back rope, if he did that against Wilder, Wilder would get him out of there. Of course, naturally thinking, that's not what you do with Wilder, okay? You keep moving around, you try and hold the centre of the ring, and what have you. So people said, you know what, this fight isn't going to happen. Tyson Fury's not ready, and whatever else. So many negative things about it. As I said some negative things about it as well. Not because I dislike Tyson Fury, not at all, but because I felt it just wasn't the right time. Being a fan, I almost wanted to protect him from getting sparked out on live TV at this stage. Fight him in 12 months' time when you're gone through the gears again. And then, for me, he would school Wilder. But he decided to take it now. So anyway, beats Pianetta. signs up for Deontay Wilder. The fight is on, but yet no date, no venue for a long, long time. Eventually, we get the date, we get the venue, the fight is on, they have the press conferences, all this kind of thing. A lot of the press conferences is a bit tongue-in-cheek at times. Sometimes you're thinking, okay, maybe they don't like each other. Other times you're thinking, it's quite clearly fake, it's just hype. Anyway, the fight gets here. Even at this point, Tyson Fury deserves a lot of credit for everything that he's gone through just to step foot in the ring, okay? But to put on the performance that he did, yeah, he got dropped on 2 occasions, but again, that was him messing about, overconfident, clowning around, thinking about what he's doing rather than thinking about what's coming back at him, and he gets caught. First time he gets knocked down in round number 9, okay, that was a shot behind the ear, illegal shot, but you know what, this is boxing, it happens. So he gets down, he loses that round, okay? That was only the second round that I had him losing, but it was a 10-8 round, okay? Then he wins the rest of the rounds. Comes out round number 12. Well, actually, at the end of round number 11, he walks up to the corner, he's smiling, he's sticking his arms up, and Ben Davidson's smiling and everything as well. I'm thinking, you lot need to stop smiling. This is round number 12. Wilder is dangerous in round 12 as he is in round number 1. All he needs is that one punch. Wilder is capable of this one punch. What happens? He comes on out, he's messing about a little bit, he tries to trade with Wilder. In fact, he lands a couple of shots in himself and then gets caught with a shot that he didn't see. He's on his way down to the ground. Wilder catches him again with a clean shot with a left hook as he's going down. And he looks out. And he may well have been out for a good 2 or 3 seconds. But he's laying down there, he's looking up at the ceiling, up at the lights, and he gets up like something out of Dawn of the Dead. He gets to his feet. Is he okay when he stands up? Probably not. Did the referee see that? Probably not. But again, you see a lot of people say, well, maybe the referee should have stopped it in that moment. But it was a 12th round. It's a title fight, okay? And he gave him the benefit of the doubt because Tyson Fury had enough about him to put his hands on the referee's shoulder, sticking his tongue out, smiling, say, okay, no, that's fine. I'm good. I'm going good. And when the referee told him to walk over there and then walk back to see if he's on wobbly legs or anything, he does that, but he's messing about as he's doing it. But really, his legs are probably not quite right, okay? But he's doing it to make it look like he's messing about. The referee goes, okay, yeah, fine. You're okay. He buys it. Tyson Fury puts it on Deontay Wilder after getting knocked out for a good couple of seconds and getting up and then almost ends Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder's legs were going at that point, all right? And the bell came in, saved him. Saved him is probably the wrong word because it's a 3-minute round. The bell has every right to go, okay? But either way, at this point, did Tyson Fury lose that fight? Hell no, he didn't. He won that fight quite comfortably, and there's plenty of boxing experts out there from BT Sport to Showtime to other former fighters, current fighters, legends, saying that Tyson Fury won that fight quite comfortably. And a draw is a robbery. People can say that, okay, it's a title fight, Deontay Wilder is a champion, so therefore you have to rip that title away. So by saying that, are you saying that the champion should always get a round or 2 head start? It doesn't work that way. Either you win a round or you don't. That's just how it is. Now, I can agree to a point. For me, that's how it kind of should be in some ways, but that's not the official rule. So if anybody's out there saying that, well, you have to convincingly be a champion to become a champion, well, that's not actually the rules, okay? Either you win round 1 or you don't. You win round 2 or you don't, and so on, okay? He did get dropped twice. That's 2 10-8 rounds against him. Some people say round number 12 should be a 10-9 round because of the way that Wilder was almost out of there, much like he was with Luis Ortiz. Again, it's debatable, but for me, no. 10-8 round to Deontay Wilder. Round number 9, 10-8 round to Deontay Wilder, and I gave Deontay Wilder the opening round. That's it. So Wilder needed, just to get a draw, 2 more rounds. There was not 2 more rounds that he won. Wilder didn't just drop Fury on 2 occasions and then win another 2 or 3 rounds. He didn't do that. So therefore, Tyson Fury wins. But regardless, it's officially a draw. And it is what it is. Tyson Fury, straight after the fight, kind of like accepted it's a draw. But as he said afterwards, that he only did that because he knew there was a lot of Brits in that crowd. And for those asking, 17,500 turned up, which is pretty damn good. It's not a sellout, okay? You're still 3,500 short of a sellout, but still, for a Deontay Wilder fight, that is fantastic. Okay, that's 3,000 more than what he had when he fought Luis Ortiz. So that goes to show you that is really good. And the crowd was electric. Fantastic. Now, I've seen many, many boxing shows in America, and all via TV, of course, but the crowds are never that into it. They do get into it at times for certain periods, but they were real into this fight. And it was the Brits, to be honest. There was a hell of a lot of travelling Brits. I don't know how many it was. Tyson Fury estimated 8,000. I don't know if it is 8,000. I have no way of finding out how many it was. Maybe someone somewhere can do that. But Tyson Fury seems to think it was 8,000. But either way, it was a hell of a lot of Brits in that crowd. So Tyson Fury, he calms the crowd down by almost accepting the defeat. You know, okay, it's fine. You know what, it is what it is. I feel I won, but we'll have to wait and see, blah, blah, blah. And he did that so the crowd didn't go into riot mode. Because he knows what Brits are like. Especially when they've had a few beers, they will break that arena down. They will tear that place down. We've seen it done on plenty of occasions. Okay? Don't forget, this is a part Frank Warren promotion show. These kind of things happen at Frank Warren shows quite regularly lately. And the crowd was not happy with that draw, but Tyson Fury, that was his way of calming them down. Afterwards, he says, yeah, that was a blatant robbery. That was on par with Lennox Lewis and Evander Holyfield Part 1. Okay? So, all that aside, Tyson Fury, from where he was, and the fact that he didn't get any kind of recognition, well, he did get recognition, but not countrywide recognition, not worldwide recognition for defeating and dethroning a 10-year reigning champion in Wladimir Klitschko. Again, a lot of it was part because of the way that he was acting afterwards. But now, everything that he's gone through, self-inflicted a lot of it, absolutely. And he said that himself. He's the first person to say that. Don't feel sorry for me. I did this to myself. I put on all this weight. I decided to put booze in my body, put drugs up my nose, and all this kind of thing. I did this to myself. Don't feel sorry for me. But fact is, he did all that and then come back, and he shouldn't have been in that ring with Deontay Wilder, and I stand by that. He was not ready. That was not a fully functional Tyson Fury. But look what he done to Deontay Wilder. Look what he done. He deserves so much credit. His stock should be so high now. Listen, Wilder did well in this fight, in part, because he did things I didn't expect him to do, as in, he used the jab better than what I thought that he could. And he was aggressive. He looked like a proper boxer in that fight. He didn't look all gangly and whatever. He did at times, but he looked better in this fight, but he didn't win enough rounds. So either way, Tyson Fury, for me, deserves a whole heap of praise. He really, really does. And I hope that the country now gets behind him. Whether you like what he's done in the past or whether you don't, hey, listen, this is what he is now. Is he still going to say stupid and controversial things? Probably. But as of right now, and especially what he's doing with the mental health and the awareness and the fact that he's been an ambassador for it, a self-appointed ambassador, by the way, to help other people, he deserves a whole lot of credit. And he has shown what you can do. If you are down in the dumps yourself, you can find a way up by clearing your own head, speaking to the right people. Don't just keep it bottled up. Keep doing, or stop doing what it is that you're doing and break the routine. And Tyson Fury is living proof of that. Look what he's done. He didn't get the result that he should have got, but he didn't lose either. So Tyson Fury, hopefully now the whole country will get behind Tyson Fury, because we know that we now should have 2 British heavyweight champions of the world. It is what it is. Whether you like Joshua, whether you don't, he's a unified champion. He earned those belts. Tyson Fury, whether you like him or whether you don't, he earned that WBC title. He just doesn't physically have it. Anyway, hopefully everybody will back both these fighters now. These guys will keep on having their rivalry. Let them get on with it. But us, as British fans and boxing fans from around the world as well should be supporting these two guys. That's just my opinion, of course. You drop me yours, click the thumbs up on this video, subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.